Today is 23rd October, market opened positive, and after the initial retracement managed to recover and close at its high, up 19.4412. However, the volume is actually not high, so this doesn't demonstrate strength, and it's approaching very obvious resistance at about 4420. So the odds of a pullback from here is actually high. Our immediate support is actually at this gap here, and that is at about 4373. This is the chart of Nasdaq, daily charts of Nasdaq. After this wide range reversal bars, we see some upward move, but generally this is actually weak. When approaching this resistance, notice actually over here we have a bullish bar with a gap, but unfortunately volume is actually not high, and followed by a retracement which is not unexpected. And these reversal bars are accompanied with high volume, so the odds of further downward move is actually pretty high. Usually first attempt after the weak sell off, it's not likely to break the resistance. So if it trades sideways, that will be generally positive. Now the converging of the 1326 SMA does indicate losing momentum. Now this is the chart of S&P 500. You notice quite similar pattern. When approaching this resistance, you notice actually a trade, a doji, and followed by a pullback from here. So again, with a high volume pullback, it's more likely it will continue to actually retrace or trade sideways. I'd like to see eventually attempt and break the high of 6764. This is chart of Brent crude. We do see upward reactions, but generally nothing to shout about because it's actually still trending downwards. Not unexpected after a series of downward move. I'd like to see a continuation from here. This will generally affect the oil-related stocks. Now, gold had a sell-off in the previous sessions. Notice actually very deep retracement here. In the process, close the daylight. Again, if you take a close look, it's not unexpected. If you notice actually it is actually trading here with increasing daylight, and so it's not unexpected for it to revert to mean. It is quite obvious on the weekly charts, because on the weekly chart, if you notice actually the previous week it traded the largest range, so this usually indicates a temporary top, and we do expect it to actually retrace in the process to close out the daylight. So right now, with a deep sell-off like this, it's likely to actually trade sideways to digest the recent move. So again, with this, it's likely to impact gold mining stocks. Now, gold mining stock has a tendency to actually trade ahead of gold price. So the retracement actually happened much earlier. Now let's take a look at some of the stocks we have been discussing. First off, Hong Leong Asia. Now mentioned before in the previous video rather, that we do not like this particular bar here, because usually after a move we like to see a follow through, but unfortunately we have a reversal bar which negates the bullishness of this bar, and this bar actually breaks the supports and the bet is actually off, followed by a gap down. So it does indicate that actually they are already selling before the announcements that this executive of the company of a subsidiaries has been retained by the Chinese government. Now with this gap, stock is actually likely to start in the trading range, and is likely to actually do so for quite some time. So on a short term basis, the stock is not likely to perform. Very sharp upward move followed by equally sharp retracements. But usually with this type of patterns, it's likely to be range bound. So again, on a short term basis, the stock is not likely to perform. So we probably have to actually wait it out. CSC Global. Now this stock has an impressive run, and today it traded inside there. So again, we'd like to actually wait for the stock to actually consolidate and eventually take out this high here of 78 cents. So I mentioned previously that this stock is already overextended, and we see weakness over here. If you notice, they were not able to actually make new high, and with this opening gap that was closed, this is actually negative, and today we see further retracement. So again, the stock's likely to consolidate, and we like to actually look for subsequent setup. Dicing. Here we have a big dipper setup. 2-bar callback high here is at 635. Notice today bullish buy is accompanied low volume, so there is no indication of strength here. We like to observe, see what happens. Now any breakout must be accompanied with high volume. Penn United, these are strong stock that weakened quite significantly. Right now it's actually consolidating, and it's quite evident from the crisscrossing of the moving average, and the moving averages actually has no slope at this point in time, so it does indicate that the stock is actually taking a breather at this point in time. So again, we have to patiently wait it out and eventually look for a break on the upside. CMC Gold Mine. So mentioned previously that the stock is already overextended and the weakness appeared. If you notice actually over here the cluster of reversal bar, so this is a sign of weakness, and then subsequently we see a gap down here. So more likely the stock will actually trade sideways, and it will probably take some time before it perform again. A better bet is actually Bubitama. After the very nice consolidation breakout, we see a pullback here, and this is actually a big dipper break. Today trade inside there on a lower volume. I'd like to see eventually take out this high here of 139.